today here in Nigeria, former President Olusegun Obasanjo has written yet another open letter to President Muhammadu Buhari, this time voicing his concerns about the security situation across the nation. In the letter personally signed by him, Chief Obasanjo explains that he's constrained to make it an open letter because the issues are weighty and worrisome to all concerned Nigerians, and so the content should be available to all who can help in preferring effective solutions to the problem of insecurity in the land. The former president goes on to disown a number of articles written recently and ascribed to him by those whom he believes are seeking credence and attention for the views and opinions. He expresses his concerns and fears that the nation is at what he describes as the precipice and dangerously reaching a tipping point where it may no longer be possible to hold danger at bay. According to Chief Obasanjo, quote, when people are desperate and feel that they cannot have confidence in the ability of government to provide security for their lives and properties, they will take recourse to anything and everything that can guarantee their security individually and collectively, end of quote. He also disputes government's claim of victory over Boko Haram, pointing out that the potency and activities of the insurgents remain undiminished where they are active. The recent explanation of the Chief of Army Staff on due to lack of commitment and lack of motivation on the part of troops bordering on sabotage speaks for itself. On the farmers' herders crisis, Chief Obasanjo blames the government for treating the issue with levity, causing it to fester and spread, developing into banditry, kidnapping, armed robbery and killings all over the country. The former president suggests that the legitimate grievances of both the Fulani herdsmen and other ethnic groups should be brought out into the open and addressed through dialogue. Chief Obasanjo further warns, quote, no one can stop hate speech, violent agitation and smoldering violent agitation. If he fans the embers of hatred, disaffection and violence, it will continue to snowball until it is out of control. A stitch in time saves nine, goes the old wise saying, end of quote. Now let's get more on this story from a security expert, Mr. Oladende Ariyo. Thank you so much for joining us on the program today.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, same to you. So what do you make of Chief Obasanjo's open letter to the president on the state of insecurity in the country?
Thank you. Like never before, this letter was spot on in total terms. Why? Because he specifically mentioned the issues confronting us as a nation and as a people, and also brought examples of places where these things happened and quick actions were not taken, and of course brought recommendations towards resolving them. He wasn't just criticizing, and these things were based on two planks: insecurity and terrorism. Criminality and terrorism. We were all here when government said through the last Minister of Information that Boko Haram had been annihilated. That was the word. Had been routed. But after that statement, we've had Boko Haram wreaking havoc on our installations, on our men at the war front. It is no longer just fighting terrorism now. It has, for me, become a full-blown war. Enough of stories and gists. And when you listen to the Chief of Army Staff, the last speech he made, for somebody who understands security, his speech had very grave implications and was discouraging. We have a situation now that to go to Ibadan for me has become a big deal, because I'm not sure that I will get to Ibadan safely or even return to Lagos safely. And all of us, everywhere you go, security is now the issue on everybody's lips. Very painfully, the murder of Ms. Fayoroti that happened over the weekend now brought all of these things to the fore. From all parts of Nigeria, southeast, from the north, southwest, south, everybody is now complaining and condemning federal government.
The situation is at a tipping point now.
Exactly. So it has gotten to a point where something has to be done. Forget the messenger. Look at the message. He's totally spot on.
What do you make of the message, though, the solutions that he preferred in his open letter, and how should the federal government, react to this letter and move on?
He advised, he called for a summit that will involve previous leaders of the country at different levels. Okay, former governors, former presidents, former head of service, military, retired military officers, and all of that, including council chairmen and those who are still in action. He also advised that leaders of thoughts in those areas that are affected by those things will be invited. We will have a talk shop. Everybody will talk. And then it will be an open affair. And then a group will now have to be set up to distill whatever contributions will have been made and come up with action plan. But we don't have the pleasure of time. If it must be done, it should be done now.
On the issue of the herdsman crisis, which is really on the front line of all this, the former president says the federal government has treated the issue with levity, causing it to fester and spread, developing into all sorts all over the country. How true is this? We hear reports of robbery attacks on our highways in the southwest, like you mentioned, and we blame them on herdsmen. Where's the proof of these claims?
See, unfortunately, it's also right on that score. When this thing started, I was expecting a response from the presidency in form of maybe a national address or something, a broadcast, okay, which would have been very assuring. It never came. And it became a double pain for some of us because we know that our president is the grand patron of Miyetti Allah, the nationally known body for cattle owners, okay? Agreed that somebody was on that same seat before as president, but it has gone to a point where he had to dissociate himself from that body and be seen to be neutral. Thereby, all the diatribes thrown his way, you know, and then the idea that he's confused, his loyalty is in doubt, would have arisen. So nothing was done, nothing concrete was done. Unfortunately, it has gone to a point where kidnappings in the southwest, which has become very rampant now, are now being attributed to Fulani herdsmen. Whether it is true or not, I don't know. But I've seen videos of people who were kidnapped, and when they were released, they said the men that kidnapped them were Fulani herdsmen. It was only one man, a professor, that said they were doing this in collaboration with Yoruba people too. Again,
there's so much.
The government also said yesterday that Evans wasn't a Fulani man. Okay? You know, when you look at all of these things, for me, lack of adequate and timely communication is behind it all.
Yeah, we do hope this situation is resolved very quickly.
I hope so too.
Mr. Oladende Areyo, security expert, it's always a pleasure having you on the program. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for inviting me.